However you want to do this, big bro.
Listen, I will say this before we get into this is that nobody I've ever interviewed has sent me such a comprehensive interview outline as you guys came through with, because I was prepared to just go off the top based on what I know.
We were like, this
is comprehensive right here.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just some of it, bro.
Yeah.
That's just some of it. I can't even sit in my seat to tell you our fucking story, bro. I'm dead serious, bro. You're going to see me getting up and down.
Yeah, I'm geeked,
You know?
man.
So.
Amazing. So the short version, just so that they won't X out of here, the short version of this is that you are a man who is unabashedly engaged to, we'll get to that, a trans woman, which to you feel entirely comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, society is lagging a little bit far behind. Mm-hmm. A lot of people confused by it, hating on it, / intrigued by it. So there's a lot to get into.
Absolutely.
Introduce your queen over here.
Everybody, this is my now lovely fiance, Cassidy Colley.
Hi, everybody.
On Instagram, her OnlyFans is Girl Next Door Cassidy. She's honestly, this woman here saved my life, man. You know, this woman here is the reason I'm in this chair at this very moment.
Right.
You know,
and the other reason that you're in this chair at this very moment is that you went on a little bit of a social media campaign, which I'm realizing I'm a little bit easily influenced by, because I just recently had an Asian kid on here who told me that he drove his car into his business and then took off like a felon. And now I've read a lot of stuff that made me think that that's not true. But either way, I'm down. Anybody who wants to try to get my attention on social media, it might just happen. It's very aspirational. I heard your story and I was like, you know what? This is a conversation I want to have.
Absolutely, man. No, I think this is a conversation that's important to have, man, because you know what's going on with us right now, going viral on the internet, and people bashing us and sending us death threats and everything, man. Like the stuff that people write, man, like comments, like this comment if you want these two to go home and kill themselves together, do all this stuff. And people are liking the comments, and we're looking at some people that like the comments. I won't drop no names. We're not here to do none of that. But
people know or respect, or
first off, we'll get into it. My own family members. My own family members go on the typical liberal page, and this little clip of a media got taken out of us of a love story we did, and they try making us look like something that we're not. And we find people commenting that we got people with big followings on there that are writing, these two are disgusting, they should die. Ooh. We're talking people with 800,000 followers. Like that's the message you spread with that fan base.
Wow,
that's the best you could do. With all that, you could just go on here and hate on someone and wish they would die. So then I look on these comments too. I see my sister and my brother-in-law talking about how, I'm dating a man.
Wow.
And Jesse's not part of the family no more. Like, nah, I removed myself from the family when you guys gave me the vibe. You don't even with her with me because I date a trans girl. Like they never even met her.
Right.
And they chose not to really be in my life,
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot to get into here, but let's discuss what you guys' lives were like prior to meeting each other and coming together. Because I understand that you come from like a family of outlaw bikers. What's the deal with this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop the name, but yeah, my family. Like I grew up in a good. Don't get me wrong. I didn't grow up in the slums. I ain't here to cite none of that. I grew up in a good house.
You from New York?
I'm from Long Island, New York. Okay. Ronkonkoma.
Hell's Island, Hell's Angels, Mongols. One of them.
Yeah, not one of the ones you named, but
in that league, that sort of thing.
Yeah, similar to those guys.
A lot of people don't know that when it comes to white boy politics in the streets, out here, Bloods, Crips, Sureños, Norteños, white boys on the East Coast, especially the motorcycle gangs, that's pretty much the top of the ladder, right?
Top of the fucking food chain.
Yeah.
I grew up in a good family. Like my dad's a plumber, man. My dad always gave everything for me, even though my dad's not on my side. Shout out to you anyway, bro, for holding it down, as a kid. But, I grew up in a good family. I got everything I wanted. I grew up in a family that, like, violence was the virtue. You know what I mean? I was cracking heads open with my dad, bro, with pipes and bats at fucking 11, 12 years old, taking me to go handle some real beef, bro.
Really?
I didn't grow up, my dad took me to the park and shit, but, we're definitely along the line, there's going to be a day where me and my dad are out in public and we run into an issue or we got to go handle some problem. Bro, I've been pulling violent acts. I'm not out here to, embrace this shit because it's really disgusting that I used to be this person. But, yeah, bro, cracking someone's head open with a baton was, nothing for,
Really?
For me and my family. But I grew up in a family where my dad's a biker. I just grew up in a family, a lot of racist shit was embedded into me, right? To hate blacks and Spanish and hate gays and hate trans and understand that's the person that I used to be. I I grew up around like the white boys, the bikers and shit. I always looked up to that shit. And then along the lines, bro, down the line, I started putting myself in like the hood and shit, you know. Wyandanch, New York, Long Island, you know, it's a bad area, Hempstead, then Brooklyn. You know, I winded up, you know, I became, you know, I was Crip at one point, you know, running the streets, doing some wild shit, bro, you know, trying to gain my respect.
What age did you become a Crip?
I think that was age like 21.
And you're running around with like all black dudes, or was it?
Yeah, I was in an all black set. I was the only white boy.
Really?
You know, I met some of them are still solid individuals. They're good people. It taught me a whole entire, you know, part of my story is, man, it taught me a lot. You know, it showed me like what kind of lifestyle that I didn't have to grow up in. You know, and some of my friends out there are struggling, man, just to make it.
Right.
You know, I lost a couple friends due to some gang violence and shit. You know, rest in peace, my man Dessa. He just passed away. Like a lot of people, man. Like when I eventually moved from Long Island, man, because like I was gonna die. The shit I was involved in, I was gonna die. Man, I was gonna catch 25. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I also battled drug addiction.
Okay.
You know, getting in the gangs, man. What brings you to the gangs? The drugs, and this is part like this is like how I grew up. Like when I told my dad I became a gang member, like it really wasn't a big deal.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like, you know, he was real interested in it.
He's not acting like that's like competition or the other side.
No. Like you'd think my family would have been mad, but they, you know, my uncle, you know, not my uncles, like my dad he really liked that I was part of that. You know, he likes knowing that his son was a badass, right? Like my dad always wanted me to be a badass motherfucker, but where did a badass motherfucker get me to? Hurting people for no reason, drug addiction. You know, situations where I almost lost my freedom.
What's the closest you ever came to losing your freedom?
Being involved in something where someone lost their life, bro. You know?
You were a fly on the wall, or you were wrapped up in it?
This is, yeah, no, I was like, yeah, bro, I was wrapped up in it, dog. You know, luckily by the grace of God, you know, it didn't fall on me, you know, because I wasn't the one that actually did it.
Right.
But like, man, running the streets and shit, like, you know, part of my story is like, I eventually moved to Florida, man, to get clean off drugs. That didn't work because you take your problems with you.
What drugs were you mostly into?
The Oxy 30s. You know, all these rappers be talking about pop a perk, pop a 30, do a drill. That shit's retarded. That shit will ruin your life. It will follow you for fucking life if you fuck around with it one time.
Right.
It's not worth it.